right, we're going to go ahead and get started now. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their day to jump on this webinar with all of us. This webinar is to educate everyone really about the importance of water conservation and how it can improve your business. So if you have any questions at all throughout the presentation, we ask if you put them in the questions tab, and either we will answer them throughout the presentation when we have time, or we'll save them all for the end. There will also be prizes awarded at the end, so please make sure to stay for those. Then I want to do some quick introductions before we start. So our speakers today will be Kathy Berlero. She's our Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing here at Eric Ryan. Chad Ubry, he's the Energy Project Manager here at Eric Ryan. Then our guest speaker, Rick Skinker, is the CEO of the Indoor Water Conservation. So before we get started here, I do want to introduce our CEO and founder, Keith Benesi. Keith has been doing this for over 30 years. Unfortunately, he had another priority this afternoon. So Kathy, our sales and marketing director, is going to take over for him today and talk about the ERC history. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you. And thank everyone for joining us today. I would just like to give you a little background on the Eric Ryan Corporation before we begin, and then we'll introduce everyone going into the water conservation. Eric Ryan was established in 1990 under utility cost cutters, and in 1995 we became incorporated as the name Eric Ryan Corporation from our CEO's two sons, Eric and Ryan. Currently, we're one of the largest utility and telecom account management and auditing firm in the United States, and we have approximately 120 full-time and part-time employees. Since Eric Ryan began, we've been in all 50 states and have over 7,000 clients. We've also provided services for companies in Canada, Mexico, United Kingdom, and the Caribbean. We've been doing energy services since 2012 for our clients, but as the opportunities for savings and other expanded services have developed in 2022, Eric Ryan launched the Energy Sustainability Solutions Division. Next, please. These are some of our customers that Eric Ryan has done or still does services for. As you can see, we're in different markets from Universal Studios, Daytona Speedway, Carlisle Companies in manufacturing, Wyndham Worldwide Hospitality, Philadelphia School Districts. We also have done the City of Miami Beach and Island Hospitality, TJX. So we're in pretty much every commercial market that you can think of. Next, please. The services Eric Ryan currently offers are utility and telecom bill review, rate analysis, and contract review. We also offer your energy procurement services in deregulated states. On the telecom side, internet, voice, cable, data center, and we also have cloud pricing services. We do new construction, telecom project management and implementation on new construction buildings. We make sure that all the telecom services are installed and ready to be uploaded when you're ready to open the facility. Pre-VoIP deployment, and we also now have bill pay and reporting services to pay the invoices for utility and telecom services. We have a new service called Contract Storage and Management, where we will manage all your contracts, whether it be utility and telecom, but also any legal contracts or copiers, elevators, anything that you would have a contract or some kind of document for. And then energy expense management software is our full energy software where many of our sustainability reporting comes out of, and then also our utility account management for our monthly clients. With energy site surveys, energy efficiency analysis, and other energy services all fall under the sustainability department. Next, please. Okay, Melissa.
All right, so right now we're going to launch a poll. If everyone could please answer it, we'll take a few minutes. Can we see it? Yes, okay. So we'll give it about, most people have answered. We'll give it about 20 more seconds, and then I will show the results and we'll kind of talk about what you guys have picked for your answers. All right. 5 more seconds. Let's see. Okay. And here's the results.
Oh, wow, interesting.
All right. So I'm going to hide those results, and I am going to introduce Chad Ubry. He's our energy project manager here at the Eric Ryan Corporation.
All right, thank you very much. And we want to start before we go into the water conservation piece. Kathy mentioned we have our Energy Sustainability Solutions Department that we just brought on, this year. And if you go to the next slide, I can talk through some of the services that are offered. So as Kathy said, we started out in 2012 just with energy conservation, and that was mostly, figuring on changing out light bulbs, maybe some thermostats, just some general conservation ideas. And as sustainability has gotten to be a pretty hot topic, around the world, and a lot of companies are looking to meet sustainability goals, we started this division. And so we work on some of the new items that we're working on are water conservation, electric vehicle charging stations, and we still do the upgrades, light bulbs, thermostats, motors, pumps, all those kind of good things. We have engineers that can do site surveys. We can report on your carbon offsets on projects that you've completed, and then sell those carbon credits out on the open market and make you some money. Greenhouse gas reporting. We do the Energy Star benchmarking, along with a lot of our customer base is in hotels, and all the hotels seem to have their own sustainability programs, Marriott, Hilton, etc. And we're in all those platforms reporting for our hotel customers as well. And so we do solar is another one, and of course we go after any rebates and incentives that might be out there for any of these projects to help offset the upfront cost of the project so that you can implement it, get a quick ROI, and start saving some money. So that's our offerings on the energy sustainability. And for the purposes of this webinar, we're going to go into the focus on the water conservation piece. Next slide. So you're looking at water. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer that we need to conserve water. I'm sure everybody's seen on the news, Lake Mead out west is going down and down, and they're finding some interesting things at the bottom of the lake as water recedes. But that serves several million people out west, and so and Rick can speak to this a little bit when he comes on. He lives out in California, so he's there firsthand, understanding what some of the restrictions are as the water levels, go down in various parts of the country. So, why is water important? And, some of this, again, might be a no-brainer, but, we need adequate water supplies just to maintain life for ourselves and for the ecosystem. Production costs are rising, and so freshwater resources are needed. And then, of course, you never know when political conflicts or other things going to arise that could interrupt that. And we sort of hit on the wildlife needing water, of course, and then saving it and keeping it clean is essential to help keep our ecosystem here on the planet balanced. Next slide. So we talk about water footprint and everything that we touch, and you don't think about it quite a bit, but almost everything that we touch has something to do with water. And so we found the next couple slides are going to be sort of some interesting facts that you may not have thought about as you think about, how you as an individual and your company may use water. And so you can see here that the average American uses 115 gallons of water each day, from everything from, in your home to your bathroom use, making coffee, washing dishes, the whole 9 yards. 115 gallons is quite a bit. But our average is about 2,115 gallons a day. And so you can see the weight there, 5 average size vehicles. And then when you put it into those terms, you know, we got to think about how important it is to conserve water, considering that 30% of the world's population lives in areas that are facing extreme water shortages. We don't think about that here in America, but 30% of the world is in extreme water emergencies. Next slide. And so here's some of the, just some things that you may not think about when you think about how you use water. A cup of coffee, 37 gallons of water to make 1 cup of coffee. A pizza, a margarita pizza, if you want to be specific, over 330 gallons of water. Rubber tires, 2,000 gallons of water, and then a pair of jeans. You know, you just slide into them, but you don't think that, you know, how they were made or what goes into it, but it's 1,800 gallons of water. So, and there's, you know, you can probably find many more examples like this, but these are just some interesting things that we found while preparing for this webinar to show how water is used that you know, may not even think about. Next slide. So only 3% of our water is drinkable. And you can see where, you know, most of the Earth's water is. Of course, the largest portion is, you know, in the oceans, but we also have lakes, streams, rivers, and soil, the ice caps. You know, and that's one of the things that is sort of on the news all the time. The ice caps are melting. But 1.7% of our water in the world is in those ice caps. And then a small portion is just vapor up in the Earth's atmosphere. Next slide. So how can water conservation, how can it help your company? You may have thought about it as you know, an individual, but not sure if you've thought about it where you work. If you're you know, concerned about it, or if you're maybe in management, these are some things to think about as to, you know, how this can help my bottom line in the business that I'm employed in. There's energy savings. So of course you're going to save, you know, on your water and sewer bill if you conserve water, but also you think about the energy needed to heat the water. You know, if you need it, whether it be manufacturing might need hot water, certainly you know, hotels and apartments and schools, anywhere where you have to heat water. You know, there's that secondary cost that sometimes you don't think about. A boost to the local ecosystem. Utilizing less water means there will be more available for the streams, lakes, etc. In your area, and then you know, every little bit helps. You know, it may not seem like a lot. You may think, my business doesn't use a whole lot of water, but again, every little bit helps. And you know, for your company, you know, you're doing your part to protect the bodies of water in your local area, which expands, of course, to other areas of the country and the world. Your employees and customer satisfaction. If you're in the, you know, in the hotel industry, you may already have a conservation plan in place where your guests can know that you're doing your part to save water, whether it be doing laundry in the rooms, you know, every other day, aerators and water reduction in the bathrooms and restaurants. And if you can do, and that kind of goes down to the last point there, public relations. If you can show that you are, you know, concerned about the environment and particularly water conservation, you may get some more guests. And, you know, there's sometimes we've come across maybe government entities or maybe certain businesses want to be aligned with companies that are doing their part to help the environment. And so that could also boost the bottom line of your business. You may get some more guests and patronage that you otherwise normally wouldn't have for people who are looking for businesses that are you know, forward thinking and want to help the environment save water. Next slide. So where to begin? We saw from the poll that that only 25% of the people had a water plan in place. The other people who responded in the poll didn't have anything in place, maybe didn't know where to begin, didn't have the time or the money. So the first part, I guess, is just to think about it. You know, why is it important to us to save water? How can we do that? Develop a written plan for how your employees or your guests or your patrons can save water, and then check to see, you know, establish and start small. You know, you're not going to save 80 million gallons a day, but start small, and then check back on those benchmarks regularly and say, hey, you know, are we hitting the marks, and can we do, you know, maybe a little bit more the next quarter, next year, however you set up your benchmark. So the beginning part, just like anything, is just to have a plan in place and then set some goals and try and reach those goals. Next slide. Another option that might be a good idea is to have a energy bill auditing company, similar to Eric Ryan, but of course there's other companies too, but we would love to do this for you if we're not already. Some of you may be our customers, but to audit your bills, to look to see, you know, if your water consumption is out of line with, you know, maybe other similar businesses in your area, or year over year, or just to identify areas where there may be leaks or opportunities to save water. So, you know, there's companies out there that make their living, they're professionals, and they have the time. You're trying to run your business, and you know, these companies that would audit your bills are, you know, taking time to watch out for you and help you to find money and savings and conservation opportunities that are just bonus for you. You know, you're running your business. These folks are helping you out on the back end. Next slide. And so this kind of goes back to the you know, have a plan in place. And one of the things that you can do is just to get a checklist and walk through your property, and, you know, see, hey, do we have these items in place, or are these something that we should be concerned about? You know, one of the biggest ones is checking for leaks. And there's companies out there that do, you know, leak detection. If you search and search and search, and hey, I can't find why my water usage is so high, you may want to consider contracting with a professional leak detection agency. Those can be very helpful for you as well. And then, of course, installing the right fixtures, whether it be on your sinks or your showers, you know, toilets, whatever you can do to get low efficiency equipment into your facility. Of course, that helps as well. And that goes with tankless water heaters, you know, as well. So anything that you can think of that might save water would be a good purchase. And then for the outdoors, you know, consider your irrigation. If you're in a place where you have to do a lot of irrigation, you know, particularly out west, more than likely down south, consider getting, you know, timers for your irrigation system, so that you're not just shooting water out when it's not necessary. If it's going to rain for 2 days, you don't need to, you know, be watering your lawn and your shrubbery. Hardscaping if you can, and some of your plants that might be water intensive, maybe consider finding an alternative to that, so they don't use as much water. So there's lots of ways, you know, to save water, and, you know, this is just a starting point. I'm sure there's other things that maybe you all have thought of or might be doing that are good conservation measures as well. Next slide. I think we're going to do another poll here. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to launch another poll. So if everyone could please answer this one as well. Give everyone a minute. There we go. Okay. We're collecting responses right now. right, give it about 10 more seconds. All right, so we're going to close this poll and look at those responses. All right, here are those responses.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody. So I'd like to introduce everyone now on the webinar to our featured speaker today, Rick Skinker. He's with Indoor Water Conservation. And here at Eric Ryan, we try to follow some of the items that I suggested, and we work with different vendors who specialize in different areas of energy conservation, and in this instance, water conservation. So we have some folks that do toilets and irrigation systems, but one of our top vendors is Indoor Water Conservation. We've been working with them for a couple of years, and they focus specifically on shower heads and sinks, which would be good for multifamily, hotels, colleges, etc. So I'm going to turn it over to Rick and let him talk through exactly what they do and how their system saves you water and money. So Rick, welcome, and take it away.
Thanks, Chad. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, we, as Chad pointed out, our focus is primarily on water usage, showers, and sinks. We focus on the hospitality industry, multifamily and student housing primarily. Our business, a lot of it is driven by hotel and property owners, where the people that use the sinks and showers don't necessarily pay for the water. And so they have a challenge of, how do I make my sink and shower water use as efficient as possible so that I'm not wasting water, but that I, at the same time, am giving our customers enough water to get their job done. Want to advance to the next slide, please? So basically what we do is we visit a property, we analyze how water is being used, and then we take certain measurements to calibrate how we would improve the water efficiency. We call that calibration. And then we, as our customers go forward, we manage and obtain any of the eligible rebates and incentives that are available in those areas. And they range a wide range of incentives and rebates based on water consumption, water savings, and energy savings as well. Next slide, please. So for us, water conservation really equates to water efficiency. As I pointed out before, you've got to balance both of these so that your guests are satisfied because you want them to come back. Your tenants are satisfied so that they don't want to rent somewhere else. And so that you're not wasting a lot of money. And the money part of it is a little unique in terms of what we do, in that there are really three buckets, if you will, of money that are wasted or saved when our solutions are implemented. And that's the cost of water, the cost of sewer, and the cost of energy used to heat the water. And those three add up to quite a bit, a lot more than just the water bill. We have a lot of customers that say they want to see savings on their water bill. That's where their focus is. They don't always realize that there's also savings in those other two categories. In most areas, the cost of sewer is higher than the cost of water. The cost of energy to heat the water can be varies quite a bit, and they're all increasing like everything else. So for us, we can typically outfit a hotel, for example, and getting back to what Chad was talking about earlier, and one of the polls that we just took that showed that cost is such a big factor, most of our projects paid for themselves within a year, taking into consideration our cost and the cost of water, sewer, energy. And it's really interesting, and I'm sure Chad can tell you this too. We run into customers sometime that their focus is so much on the cost, they don't even consider that within a year, if it pays for itself, you're saving money for every year after that. And not only that, the savings increase because almost every year those utility rates increase. So it's kind of penny wise, pound foolish in some cases, but we have a lot of customers that we work with Eric Ryan and others that really see the benefits of our services. One thing to point out, we don't replace shower heads, or we don't replace sinks or aerators. We basically kind of fine tune, we develop certain sizes of what we call flow controllers, and then we custom make them for each property. So it's a real sustainable solution. We have hotels that have had our products installed close to 10 years, and they have the same flows today that we did when we installed them. Next slide, please. So the way that we do it, we consider it balancing flows. So what we try to do is deliver the same flow rate in every room on every floor. This hotel in San Francisco has a wide variation of water pressure. So on the top floors, that required one size of our flow controller. The middle floors, a different size, and the bottom floors where the water pressure is higher, required a different size, all calibrated so that if you stay at this hotel, you can have the same shower experience on the top floor as you are in the middle or the bottom floor. Next slide, please. We make all of our products in the U.S. They're made on CNC machines. We basically buy long bars of brass or stainless steel. We put them into that long bar feeder there. We program in the size, whether it's for a sink or a shower, and the computer does the rest. So very accurate. So the accuracy of how our product is made, combined with the accuracy of how our techs do the on-site calibration, leads to the most efficient water use in sinks and showers that you can get, which equates to cost savings and water conservation. Next slide, please. Our products are very easy to install. They're basically installed on this side of the wall, if you will. There's no need to turn off the main water supply. Each room can be installed on an individual basis. The shower heads are taken off, the restrictors are removed, our products put back in place. It's a 2 to 3 minute time to install. The sink's a little bit longer, but basically shut off the water supply, take off the supply line, install our device, and put the supply line back on. Total one sink and one shower in a hotel room takes 5 to 7 minutes. Next slide, please. A couple of examples. Our solutions are in properties all over the United States. Here's a couple. The Westin Michigan Avenue in Chicago. It's a large hotel. The first year they saved $80,000. They got their money back in 6 months. They saved 4 million gallons the first year. They've had our product installed since 2017. Their savings just keep increasing every year. The same thing with the Row Hotel in New York. It's a large, very large hotel, 1,300 rooms. They have a lot of families that stay there. It's right by Broadway and Times Square. They get a lot of people from other countries, and they use a lot of water. They save $180,000 the first year. They got their money back in about 4 months. And this property saved over 10 million gallons the first year. And we're just talking about sinks and showers. We're not even involved with toilets or leaks or some of the other things that Chad mentioned. We're really specifically focused in a small kind of a niche. And it's one of many things, as Chad pointed out, that you can do to improve your water use. And again, like Chad said, get the experts in to focus on what they know best. Next slide, please. So we talked earlier about rebates. The rebates that we get on our products. On the water side, we cover Metropolitan Water District covers all of Southern California. Southern Nevada Water covers most of Las Vegas, the city of Portland, the city of Healdsburg, several cities in Northern California, Franklin Energy in the Chicago area. And we just recently got one, Chad, I haven't told you about this, it just happened in Philadelphia, which is actually an energy use savings rebate, just like Franklin Energy.
Okay.
So we're getting more and more as people realize that what we do saves not only water but energy, and it's sustainable. So we're pushing to get more and more every day, and so we're making a lot of progress on that front. And the rebates can range anywhere from $5 a unit to up to 50, or even in the city of Healdsburg, California, 100% of the cost of our product. So there's a wide range of how much can be paid for. But in a lot of cases where there aren't rebates, like in New York City, for example, the return on investment is still very low for our projects. Next slide. So now we're into the drawing, the fun stuff.
All right. So we're going to be giving away one $50 Snappy gift card and one $25. So I'm going to go ahead and spin our wheel of names here. And our first winner for our $50 Snappy gift card is Mitchell Schwartz. And now our second winner for the $25 Snappy gift card is Alan Tietzoff. So congrats to our two winners, and keep an eye on your email. You'll be getting an email from Snappy Gifts soon where you can redeem your gift cards.
Yeah, and as of now, we do not have any questions. So if anyone does have any questions, either contact Kathy or contact Chad, or use this energy sustainability info at ericryan.com and send those questions over. So Chad, if you have anything else to say to, wrap it up, or.
Yeah, no, I think we covered it all. I think water conservation is a pretty important topic. And I hope some of the stuff that we talked about and some of the ideas that we talked about in Rick's presentation was helpful. And certainly if there's anything that any of us can do to help anyone here on the line, on their water and energy bills, please just let us know. We're glad to help.
All right, sounds good. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we hope you have a great day and great weekend ahead.
Thank you.